All right, now we're live on YouTube.
All right. So, what's happening everyone? How are you? Welcome to Miracles Every Word. It's Wayne Stills, Reverend Wayne Stills, and we're reading today from The Impersonal Life. Lynn and I will be reading from The Impersonal Life. It's the Spirit of God speaking through Joseph Benner and speaking rather forcefully and wonderfully, and we're enjoying it very much. But first, I want to play a song. I played it before, but I enjoy it. And well, I have never played this version of it before. I've never played this. This is a cover I've never heard before, so I'm looking forward to it. It's a cover by the Waylon Jennings, and you've heard the song before, I'm sure.
When I was a little girl, and the devil would call my name, and I'd say, who do you think you're fooling? I'm a consecrated girl. Ooh, I'm a singer in the Sunday choir. Oh, my mama loves me, she loves me. She gets down on her knees and hugs me. Yeah, she loves me like a rock. She rocks me like the rock of ages. She loves me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me. When I was grown to be a woman, and the devil would call my name, and I say, who do you think you're fooling? I'm a consecrated woman. Ooh, I can snatch a little purity. My mama loves me, she loves me. She gets down on her knees and hugs me. Yeah, she loves me like a rock. She rocks me like the rock of ages. She loves me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me. If I was the president, and the Congress called my name, was the president, and I say, who do you think you're fooling? Was the president? I got the presidency. Ooh, I'm up on the presidential podium. My mama loves me, she loves me. She gets down on her knees and hugs me. Yeah, she loves me like a rock. Ooh, she rocks me like the rock of ages. She loves me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me.
Wow, what a great song. I love that.
That's pretty cool, right? I like that too. I like
Yeah,
the song, the Paul Simon song. But
yeah, yeah,
I've heard others sing that, but I've never heard that the a cappella version. That's kind of cool.
yeah. I love that.
All right, so let's get to it. Looking forward to it.
All right. So we are um we're here where it starts with
Listen. All
listen.
right,
Listen.
that's good enough.
Do you want to read?
I can't wait. You should start, but can you make it
Okay.
bigger as possible?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can barely see that.
I can make it bigger. Bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's good. Wait, that's fine.
Look
That's
at
perfect.
that.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All
You
right.
said.
Okay.
Mm,
Listen, you, the I am of you, are to me, and these are capital I am and me, are to me what the cell consciousness of your body is to your I am consciousness. You are a cell, as it were, of my body, and your consciousness, as one of my cells, is to me what the consciousness of one of the cells of your body is to you.
all right.
And I hope, I'm just saying this myself, that he's more conscious of us than we are of the cells of our body.
I hope
'Cause
so.
I'm only conscious of the cells of my body if they're giving me problems.
Yes, exactly. Well, it depends
So,
on the case, but we only probably have some pain when it comes to when we're feeling fine. Because we're kind of one with it.
yeah,
When our body feels good, we're one with our body. Our body feels bad, we separate from the pain and look at it. I always feel better when I say to myself, I feel one with the pain. I am the pain. I am the pain. Then I realize I'm dreaming and it goes away. Or it doesn't totally go away, but it tends to go away a little bit at least. It softens up a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so well real that I get here. So I am a cells of I'm you. I'm a cell of his body, in my and my consciousness as one of the cells is him. The same way the conscious cells, one of the cells of your body is to you. So I'm a cell in God's body, and it's the same way the cells of my body.
Right.
Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
All right. So
We're a part of
more,
God.
all right, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm a cell.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. That's cool.
Okay. So he says, therefore, it must be that the consciousness of the cell of your body is my consciousness, even as your consciousness is my consciousness. And therefore, we must be one in consciousness, the cell, you, and I. You cannot now consciously direct or control a single cell of your body. But when you can at will enter into the consciousness of the I am of you and know its identity with me, then you can control not only every cell of your body, but that of any other body you might wish to control. What?
Wow.
How?
Good Lord. Let's see. Wow. I wonder if people out there like that who know that mastered that and they're controlling bodies. You know, you can consciously control a single cell of my body, but when you can enter into the consciousness of, but when you can enter at will, when you can enter at will, when you can at will enter into the consciousness of the I am of you, which is him, which is the one that's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's different with me. Then you can control not only every cell in your body. Well, I guess in the sense that his body, it was only one cell. I guess is what he's saying.
Yeah, yeah, and that the once you're identified with this consciousness that is the Christ, then you're connected to all things in a very conscious way.
Right. Yeah, and you're conscious that there's only one self within you, so there's only one, and that cell that's within you is also within God
Yeah, and that's
because you are a cell in God. So if you're a cell in God, then all the little cells that make you up are also in God.
yes.
And also, since you are a cell, and we're all cells in God, and God is one, we're all cells in each other,
Yeah.
and so we should be able to control each other.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
and
we connect with each other. Let's put it that way. We should be able to send each other vibes of love and stuff like that, and help somebody get off their feet, get off their feet if they're hurting. So I don't think it's much about getting them to bend to our will. Yeah.
well, I think that it's so far beyond that physical notion that, I want to make you feel better and want to send you good vibes, all that kind of stuff. That's really kind of primitive.
Right. Well, yeah. I
And
mean, right. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I agree. Totally.
yeah, because
Yeah.
he's talking about a very much higher state of mind where we are so connected that there's nothing that we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like no private thoughts for real. Like no one has any private thoughts at all. Like your thoughts are my thoughts are your thoughts. So all of us are like Vulcan mind melded to each other,
Yeah,
and we are all like, or like that the benevolent Borg from that episode. We're all like
yes,
one mind with each other,
yeah, yeah.
you know. And so there's
I
nothing.
love the Borg.
Yeah, I know, I know. Well, I don't mind. I like the concept of it, but yeah, that's what I was sort of saying. They kind of like they manipulate others as opposed to the benevolent board who were trying to make it a good society with their oneness. The ones that were in this, the ones that started the cooperative.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And think about how when Picard had was taken over by the Borg, and then he came back and was no longer, but he still was
connected.
haunted by the loneliness
All right, yeah, that's
of
interesting.
not being a part of the collective.
Interesting, yeah. That's really ending that last moment of the end. You mean when he was looking out the window?
Hmm.
Yes, it's I always interpret that as meaning that the hell will continue. But I never saw it. I think your way is even nicer. The loneliness of being without the mind.
Yeah.
without the universal mind of the Borg. You know, it's one thing with the Borg though is that it's like anything else. No matter how big your mind is, it's never going to be as big as infinity.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? So you carry it away with yourself, and they were the ultimate until the 847 2. Then they got in big trouble when they meant that people were stronger than them, they were bigger than them, they were more powerful than them, and you're always going to meet your match. So it's because no one's ever going to be as big as God. No one's ever going to be as big as everything, as everyone. At least, well, let's put it this way: no one's ever going to be bigger than God.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to be. The Borg were flying around the universe was much larger than they were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they might have been more humble and enjoyed themselves more. They weren't very happy, but and I would have been happy hell if I was one with even you of other people like that. I'd be happy.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because, the idea is that you're no longer controlled by the ego, but you're controlled by the one mind
Right.
because, they basically give up their will to be among the Borg, but that's not always the case. And there's like the Borg Queen in
Yeah, yeah, that was
that
kind of
movie, she had a will. She was
yeah.
willful.
She was also
And
individualized. Yeah, she was a borderline individual.
yeah, and but she still had a connection to him as well. So it was,
Right.
I mean, it's interesting. I love the concept of it
I
because,
love it. Yeah.
the problem, our problem is that we're horrified by the idea of giving up our
Personalities.
individuality.
Well, like he's a personality. You hold up personality. Our total uniqueness. I mean,
Yeah,
the biggest enemy of those Star Treks was one basically a giant enemy of oneness of individuality, especially in Voyager, where they really explored the idea of what was 7 of 9 when they withdrew out of the Borg collective. They explored individuality versus oneness. This is what it was.
yeah,
And the oneness was obviously the enemy in this particular episode. I mean, at least oneness as it was, therefore, they were not necessarily asking you to give up, but were forcing you to surrender.
right, right.
And that would have been the difference between the Borg and perhaps a little bit of the Borg did it too. Yeah, they did it to they forced them to do. So the question is, how much power do you have before you force people to do shit?
Right. Right. But I mean, the fact is that whether you like it or not, it's inevitable
Yeah,
that we are going to be absorbed by the collective.
yeah.
It's inevitable that is what is, and it's what we really want,
But
but
that's the
we
thing.
don't,
Yeah, we want
don't get
it.
it.
Well, Ken said that it's not gonna happen until we all want it.
Yeah.
He said eventually we're all going to have to jump off into the abyss, basically. But it doesn't want to happen because everyone was complaining when he said that. He was, don't worry about it. It'll happen when you want it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the end of the good place, where all of them finally disappeared into the oneness.
Yes.
But they waited until they wanted to go.
Yes.
So that's what I'm kind of out on. Because no one really wants to disappear into apparent nothingness, at least, and relative to what something here at this point. I mean, I know I don't want to disappear into nothingness at this point. I still have a lot of consciousness I want to explore, but
Right.
not
Which is
necessarily
why
in this
you're
realm.
still here doing
Yeah,
it. And that's, yeah.
exactly. I mean, I
And
wouldn't
then,
mind going to higher levels of consciousness, and it's more different realms and different imaginations, different things. And we get out of. I don't want to come out here if I'm just going to get sick again and die. That I had enough of. That I
yeah.
can do with that again. I won't mind going to a place where it's like really called the next level where death is a come.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
don't know if that's actually ever, I mean, how, but because that's actually the whole purpose of the ego, the realm of the ego is death.
right.
And
But
so as long as you're in the ego, death is inevitable.
yeah, I guess we could say so as we become higher beings, like four-dimensional beings for us, we could, I mean, literally in this realm, the ego realm is kind of high level. It can be very high level. I would imagine just came into this realm, we were in a high level of consciousness. We were just two, and then eventually between three, four, five, six, and they able to multiply into many more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in other words, we weren't always this pathetic and degraded and separated, right? We did and isolated. even though we weren't. It doesn't go from infinite and eternal to separated to war. It was almost the pre-separation. I mean, separation happened, and there was still a lot of infinity going on. We were very eternal. We were communicating very well, and then slowly but surely we started to go out of control. The mental breakdown didn't happen immediately. It happened slowly over time. Time was in place immediately. And then time went into place, we started to fall and break down because time was the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But what you're saying though, it makes sense to me and I can understand it. Because yeah, you still want to have experiences. And that's because you think that if you are whole in this total consciousness, that those experiences will not be available to you anymore. But what if you were whole in the total consciousness and you had every experience that ever could be, which is really the whole illusion, the dream, the tiny mad idea. It's just a whole conglomeration of
yeah, that's true.
all
Yeah,
the experiences. And what if you just knew everything now?
yeah. I mean,
And
it's true. I mean, first of all, who knows what I'll feel like in a year from now, or a day from now, or a month from now, or 10 years from now. And I mean, basically, I don't want if it's going to be birth, life, and death, the cycle I want to bust out of. So who knows what I'll end up when I'm out of the cycle. And if I'm not, I've always thought of it in terms of this world until we wake up from this world. And like a dream at night, when you become lucid, you move into a higher level in the dream at night. That's how I see it happening here. That you move into a higher level in the dream until eventually you move up to the highest level, which is to say that anything and everything that you could possibly ever want in this realm becomes until eventually you're bored with it all, until you don't give a hoot anymore, and you get everything you want easily. Just same way I can get up and go downstairs in my house. And
mhm,
eventually it's no big deal. I don't get bored with my house. Eventually, it's beautiful. Eventually, you get bored with your cars and your stuff and all the stuff that you can do easily. And so eventually, I get bored with going back in time and going forward in time. And it's easy as I can go through my door. And I can do all this stuff so easily. Eventually, it'll be no big deal. And also, then I'll move up even higher and higher and higher until eventually I'm infinite again. Or just about infinite, or just about everywhere, just about omnipresent. And eventually, God will wake me up. And that's sort of how I've always envisioned it. Because this realm is, even though officially, it's not. There's certain places you'd rather be. You want to be in that forgiving one. You want to be in some other place than we are now. The funny part is that in order to move into the happy dream, you have to uncover the happy dream by removing the desire to do and to get and to take. So that's the paradox. That's why we always have a problem. The forgiveness stops you from moving. When you forgive, you stop moving. You stop moving ahead. You stop trying so hard. And you lay back and you find yourself just in the moment. And then you move from station to station to station to station to station to station to station without having to worry about a thing. And that plunges you into the future. And that plunges you into the higher levels of consciousness. And if that higher level of consciousness turns into me being fully ready to say, you know what, the heck with all this. This might be paradise, but paradise is boring the hell out of me now. Then I'll jump into the head first into oblivion, or whatever you want to call it. And oblivion is probably the most creative place to be since it created all this all this somethingness.
yeah. I mean, I mean that's the place where there's nothing is missing at all. There's nothing to be wondering about. So
Yeah, well, yeah, that's for sure. There's nothing to worry about at all. There's nothing to think about. It's where we are right now is that we're surrounded by a bunch of images that say the opposite. And I guess that's the images we're sort of all addicted to. And I have no problem at all. I guess what I'm saying I guess that there's a higher level of existence than I've experienced so far here. A
yeah,
higher level of joy, a higher level of fun. And I've always said that the way I figured out how to work this realm is with the course is to look at my nighttime dreams, see how they function. And anytime I have a issue with how to work this realm, I look at the nighttime dreams. And in nighttime dreams, anytime I become lucid and aware that I'm dreaming, and I haven't woken up on purpose so I can experience the joy in the dream and the joy and the brightness and the power and the surge of joy and love and fun and happiness that I experience is so powerful. It won't last a few minutes though, because then you wake up. But the time that I'm in there, I can do what I want. I can do anything I want, and your dreams come true in a sense. And if that's anything like here, and it's a much longer time-based realm, a much longer structured realm, and then you can have your way with the realm in terms of you can see peace instead of this, which is actually today's lesson. You can see peace instead of this. You can see the world the way you want to see it with no hangups, with no problems whatsoever, and still it's in a higher realm. I mean, look, they say the astral planet is supposed to be next. That's the realm of imagination. Anything you can imagine can be real. Santa Claus can be real. The Tooth
Yeah,
Fairy can be real. Anything can be real in that realm. So
absolutely. Because it's all there.
exactly. So that's what I mean by a higher realm of consciousness.
If we ever thought about it, it exists in that realm. You're right.
Exactly. That's what I mean by higher levels. When you move to higher levels, death could disappear. In nighttime dreams, death is not really the same thing as it is in this realm. Because you die one night and 10 minutes later bounce right out of the grave in nighttime dreams.
Well,
So we should be able to do that here as well. But we're so caught up in this in the rules that are here that we tend to think that they're solid and they can't be moved.
right, because we think this is the reality, and at night when we're dreaming, we think that's the reality. And
Right.
so our mistake is just thinking that our consciousness is limited to this experience.
It's harder, I guess, because this realm seems so much more real.
Yeah,
Because it's basically because there's someone say it's just longer. The dream is just longer. I guess it's not necessarily literally longer because there's no time, but on a feeling basis, it feels much longer than a dream. It feels longer, more stretched out, more structured. It's like the course says, it's just a different form than a nighttime dream. It's still just as much a dream.
well, I've had nighttime dreams where I've lived a whole lifetime. I've
Really?
had nighttime
That's
dreams where I've experienced uh all sorts of things that seem like they were it seemed like a real life. And maybe it's remembrance of a past life or something like that. But and I know that other people have had that as well. Had whole dreams of living a life, having children, having a family, growing old, dying, in their dream, one time in a dream, and woke up and mourned the loss, mourned the family that were that were. I had that sadness for people that I loved in the dream, in a
yeah,
nighttime dream,
that's wild.
a
Wow.
yearning for that person.
I've
Yeah,
had people die in my dream that I thought were dead for like first 5 minutes after I've woken up, for sure. I was like, oh wow, I can't believe they're dead. 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, they're not dead. I felt so happy.
that's
You know,
yeah,
I was like, oh my God, the person's not dead. I can't believe it. This is great. And that's sort of what was going to happen here eventually. Up from this nonsense. Oh my God, I can't believe that this didn't happen.
yep,
We were never thrown into time, by our own stupidity and our own nonsense. We didn't throw ourselves into
curiosity,
time. Yeah,
basically.
curiosity, I guess.
Yeah, what would it be like?
Curiosity killed the cat, though, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Curiosity.
So you want me to continue reading?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So what happens when your consciousness no longer controls the cells of your body? The body disintegrates, the cells separate, and their work for the time being is finished. But do the cells die or lose consciousness? No, they simply sleep or rest for a period, and after a while unite with other cells and form new combinations, and sooner or later appear in other manifestations of life, perhaps mineral, perhaps vegetable, perhaps animal, showing that they still retain their original consciousness and but await the action of my will, capital M, my capital W will, to join together in a new organism to do the work of the new consciousness through which I desire to manifest. So, I mean, basically, he's talking about the cycle of life. Your body dies, then other things grow, and it's all a push of God's consciousness through and into the experience
Yeah,
through through bodies, basically.
he
Uh,
said, nothing that exists manifests without it being an expression of him. He said that earlier.
yeah, yeah.
So everything that exists is a manifestation of him on some phase of him. was the
Yes.
word as he put it. He said everything is a phase of him. Everything the manifestation of a phase of him. So if you see it that way.
Yeah, and that's why it's so if you can actually learn to look at the world that way and just recognize, oh, this computer, that's God, oh, this piece of dust, that's God. Oh, every part of me, if I just could recognize, like the Course says, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. My mind is what's
Exactly.
manifesting
It's
this
just,
this dream, and God is living through it.
right. Well, it's like, if you think about like, God is dreaming, he said, God, let's say you have a daydream, right? Everything in your daydream, if you're dreaming a daydream, it comes out of nothing and it goes back to nothing. But in between, you're generating every single thing from scratch. And everything is important to everything else because you're generating it all. And if you withdraw your attention from that, it disappears. Let's say the phone rings or something, it disappears completely. And so God is in a sense daydreaming us, the universe or or from our eternal perspective, we're daydreaming us completely. God is daydreaming us. It's easier to say God is daydreaming us. And it says if he withdraws his attention, we disappear back to nothingness from which we came. But if as long as he keeps his attention on us, which he does, thank God, until he doesn't, I guess. But then he can regenerate his attention to us. He put his attention back on us any minute, anytime he wants.
Right, and but it doesn't matter to us from our point of view because we've never left being God.
No, no, we never left exactly. Well, from God's perspective, he's infinite and nothing's really happening. This is from our perspective that we're actually going back and forth.
Yes,
We lose consciousness, but then again, we wouldn't know if we lose consciousness. We lose consciousness, and then there's no time there at all in nothingness.
right,
When we wake up, we wake up and we go back here. But it's sort of like if you think about it that way, then we're always being created by God in a second, because God is generating us in the mind in the moment that we're existing, and He's doing it in the moment. It's no past, present, and future.
right, right,
If you're generating a fantasy in your mind in a moment, some sort of daydream or something, and let's say you're daydreaming me or something, or talking to you on a cup of coffee. If you're doing that right now, every single thing that happens in the moment because you're creating it the moment by moment by moment.
right. Well, I'm dreaming you now.
Yeah, I know that, but we tend to put the past and the present there
Yeah,
so solidly that we forget that. But if you compare it to you having a daydream, then you're obviously in the present. Because you obviously know that, well, I'm having a daydream right now. So obviously there's really no past, present, future in the daydream. I mean, except for the fact that it exists perhaps in my brain, but in the story in the daydream, I'm generating this in the moment. Every moment I have to continue to generate this picture, or else it will go away into nothingness. So as long as I am continuing generating the picture, it'll be there. So long as we continue generating the picture of ourselves on this lower level, it'll be here. The minute we stop, it goes away. And that's how I get into the present moment. So I look at I look around and I say, I am generating this picture from the highest level every single second as some sort of daydream, as sort of fantasy in the moment. And that's the quantum thing. And so long as I continue realizing that I'm creating this daydream in my mind every second, the minute I start thinking, I can, in a sense, if I wanted to, withdraw my attention from it and watch it disappear into nothingness.
which it does do all the time.
Every time, every time we go in and out of existence in our consciousness,
Yeah.
which happens in what we call death.
Well, and it
Or
even
someone walks
now.
away. So yeah, someone walks away.
I mean, it's happening now that our consciousness is going in and out of existence in
Yes.
this world. And because, what does Jesus say? In not one instant does the body actually exist.
Right.
And it's like
Right.
we only are here when we think about it. And we're not thinking about it, we're not here. It's like,
Oh
when you
yeah.
go in to have surgery and they put you under anesthesia.
You're out.
And you're no longer there. Where
Right.
are you? And
Exactly.
they're
Right.
cutting up your body and sticking things in, taking things out,
Yeah.
rearranging things, doing all kinds of stuff. You have no idea what's going on.
No, so someone walks away from you and they disappear out of your sight, then that they've gone out of sight, they've gone out of existence. As far as
Yeah.
you're concerned. So as you're concerned, they have. You know.
Yeah. And even people that you love, you think, oh my God, I really love my husband. You know, he's in another room. I don't see him for hours at a time. To me, at that I don't know what he's doing. He's not in my existence right now.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, if you don't experience it, it doesn't really exist for you. I haven't said that. The way you know, one of the ways you can also shrink, you have to almost like shrink your world down to what you can see with your dream senses. Because in your dream at night, if you're not thinking about it, it's just not there.
Yeah.
It's not like in a dream at night. If you're not thinking about it, it's still there. If you're not thinking about your apartment in your dream, like your apartment is still out there somewhere. If you're not thinking about it at night in your dream, it's just not doesn't exist. It has no existence. Your dream only consists of what you're dreaming about. Well, same
Yeah.
thing out of here. Same thing here. My dream only right now. My dream consists of the room that I'm in, the computer that I'm using, and anything I might be thinking about.
Yeah.
That's
Even things
it.
that are behind you may not even actually be there. Y-
No, they might
If you're
not.
not conscious of it, is it really there?
No, well, it's not according to this. We may. That's what I meant by the daydream thing. Unless I'm not consciously daydreaming it up in my fantasy, it's not there
Yeah.
because it's not part of my daydream. It's not part of my little fantasy, my little wish fulfillments that I want to be here talking to you. I don't need that behind me. I needed the shelter behind. I mean, shelter. So I have this idea of I'm surrounded by four walls. So in that sense, I guess you could say it's behind me too. So, but it's not. It's not behind me the same way that the walls in front of me are exist. And surely that's not uptown where by the areas that I never walked around up by the town that's close to me. There's areas that I've never been down before. Those areas don't exist for me at all.
Yeah.
So I have no idea where they are. They're just in flux.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's really interesting. My husband plays a lot of video games and uh they have a whole landscape and roads and highways and buildings and all kinds of stuff in these games. And they're not there until you go there. And then they render into this visual thing that is and they move around in on the screen as if they were there all the time. But they're
Right.
not. It's nothing is there until it renders. And that's, they even, I keep bringing up the like that double slit experiment.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Things are doing until you pay attention to it, it's not doing anything or it's
No, you're right. Until you pay attention to it, it's a wave. Until you pay attention to it, then it becomes a particle.
it becomes a particle. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's not solid. It reminds me of it's like a going really fast. You see it looking like a particle until you're not looking at it. It's becoming it's like a wave going really fast.
Yeah.
So like atoms. Like if you look at atoms, the most of it's not really there, but it's going so fast, moving so fast from our position, it looks solid. Like everything around you is really just vibrating at a certain level. But
Yes.
really, there's nothing there at all. It's almost empty. Well, everything
Yeah.
it's if they're taking it's like taking a fan, putting it on, and it goes really, really fast. It looks like it's everywhere at once.
Exactly. But really, it's just a field of potential.
Exactly. It's just going around and around so fast that it seems to
Yeah.
be everywhere at once. But it's not. Put your hand in there, it's like that. It's not going to be solid when you cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so there's no clue what's going on around us.
Yeah.
And then if we think we built the past, present, future so solid that we're living on this time, and then we're marching on lonely towards our death. We
Yeah. And
live in
it
that
seems
mentality.
linear, like boom, 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 boom.
Exactly. And one by one, we all just jump off the cliff at the end of and into our death. And then we can plan and we keep doing this over and over again every lifetime. Until eventually one day we realize that this is all something we're fantasizing about in the moment.
Yeah.
And we're going to take our attention off something and then it goes away.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Close your eyes and it's gone. We teach that
Yeah.
to babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's,
peekaboo,
yeah,
peekaboo.
exactly. It's hard. It's hard. I remember I told someone that don't you think that your worldview will have cracks in it if you think like that? I said, I don't know. I'll give it a shot and find out, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's better than to me just accepting things as they seem to be and not questioning, especially when you know that there's something more beyond, and that's what this book is telling us,
Right.
is this consciousness is something that's beyond what you can fathom with the mortal mind.
It's almost like this is the big spiritual giant I feel like he's describing. And all of us are a part of this giant one huge cell, giant cell with all this number of giant infinite cells, part of this big infinite giant and named man or humanity. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like he's describing it. It's like we each all have all our cells, we're all one big cell in him. And then we're all really just one giant cell because we're all one being. And then what you have is just this infinitely large man. It's like you have like the Adam Cadman of the Kabbalists used to call Adam. You
Yeah.
know, the original man who was supposed to be infinitely large and exploded, shattered, which was like the spiritual Big Bang. Um,
Yeah. And
well, all right.
but that's why the one sonship, Course in Miracles says the sonship is the sum of all of God's creation.
Yes, all God's parts.
It's just one thing,
Yeah.
not a whole, it's the sum. It's all of it.
Yeah, well, in a sense, no one ever left the garden.
Right.
So it's some of all God's parts, all God's shattered, but the shattering never really happened, which is the only way to really fit the pieces back together again. Each part's going to whisper to the other part, "Hey, this never really happened. You're not really here. So let's get on my team and let's just pass the word." It's a very small word. Just you hear me. Yeah. It's not a giant word. It's not very offensive. Just you hear me. That's all.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
That's all I'm trying to do, especially for first listeners,
Okay.
right?
I'm going to
All right,
continue reading.
okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, excuse me. Then apparently this self consciousness is a consciousness common to all bodies, mineral, vegetable, animal, human, each self fitted perhaps by experience for a general kind of work, with with a question mark there. And so, we're talking about, first off, thinking about this was written back in the like 1920s.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so when we're thinking about cells, we're thinking, maybe more scientifically, like what we know from our biology classes or something. He's talking to us about something entirely different. It's that all things, everything that's a part of this illusion, this dream, is a fully conscious living being.
Yeah. So
Every bit of it. This computer, every atom in the computer, everything is fully conscious living being. We don't see it that way because we can't say consciousness in something that we think doesn't think, but
no, yeah,
we have
it's
no
hard for me.
idea.
No, he said that. He said earlier. He said that everything that's alive nothing is dead. Everything's alive. Nothing at all. And that includes inanimate objects. They're all alive. It's just I saw some actually it was on one of these shows that talks about space and different intelligences and so and we're biased against different types of intelligences. We assume that our intelligence is the only type of intelligence. Human intelligence or intelligence that we call what we call life. But if you look at other types of intelligence, other types of things, and they brought up non-life, basically what seem to be inanimate objects flying in space. He goes, but these things last much longer than we do.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well,
odd, but essentially what they were saying, these are life forms anyhow. They have the integrity, they maintain their integrity, they maintain their form, and they go on and they're flying in space and they go on forever, just about.
yeah. And there you go. We got Star Trek again, where they go to a planet and the rocks are alive and have feelings and emotions and can communicate with it.
Yeah,
And
right.
they're like, "Oh, this is a life form we didn't never even thought about before."
I mean, the original Star Trek?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Remember that?
down below with the rock below.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean
yeah,
that was back in the '60s and the
yeah,
'70s when those were some
yeah,
pretty crazy stuff. So
yeah.
Gene
Yes.
Roddenberry.
Yeah, who was it? Osho was talking about the life. It was the difference between you and life forms around you being the inanimate objects. He said, you're much freer. He said, your life form other like that will be in the same place 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, you on the other hand can move around and so forth. He goes, that's what makes you a higher life form. He said, than the things around you. Interesting. Because freedom, because you have to treasure your freedom, as he said.
Hmm.
He said, because 20 years, 100 years from now, you might still be there.
Yeah. But that
Uh,
doesn't mean anything because as far as the rock goes, it's living its life,
exactly. This is doing what
you
it has to
know?
do. And I always said maybe I'll learn obedience. Maybe it's choosing to learn how to be calm, cool, and relaxed. So it decides to be a little chair for a little while. Or it decides to be, I don't know. Maybe wants to learn how to make people cozy, so it's time to be a chair.
Yeah.
And then I mean, maybe who knows how a chair's life works? Maybe it's just a person be a chair for a couple of lifetimes, then they can leave. Someone else can be in the same chair, goes back and forth, back and forth. I mean, I don't know how these life forms all work. I mean, I would imagine that it's just about moving forward and creating what their predetermined goals are. Maintaining
Yeah.
structure, maintaining structure.
Yep. Yep. Well, Ozzy is saying, imagine being a rock unable to move and dance and chat, but you don't know that. You don't know what they're doing. They are,
Yeah,
just because we don't understand their their life form and how their life form relates, we don't know that it's not doing amazing things, you
Yeah,
know?
well, it depends on what your point and what your view is. I remember, I think I was, I might have mentioned this before, but my kids, when they were younger, had a whiteboard and they put a line down it. I came home from wherever I was, and they had heaven and hell written on the top of it. And they had all the people that they knew, but everyone they could have ever known, whether they liked them or not, whoever they were, and they written down in heaven. Everybody. I mean, I don't care who it was packed and they could barely fit. It was so right. I'm like, oh, that's great. And there was two people who were very small in hell. Who the hell are they? And so I looked very closely and it was Hitler and Stalin. And so I said, wow, I guess if you pick two people, if in the hell, those two are in America, especially those two are the ones big, But so I said, well, maybe we work something out there for them. What can we work out? We sat there and talked about it, and we decided that since we believe in reincarnation, that they can come back as a rock. And that was taking a long time. Since that
Wow.
was taking billions of years, trillions of years to get back to a person. And by that time, they would learn their lesson.
That's pretty amazing.
That's what we
That's
said.
pretty
They
amazing.
were 10 years old at the time, so it was pretty cool
Oh my
step
gosh.
forward. We said, and so and we worked well. It was a little rock back. I was going to say amoeba, but still, that was too far ahead. We would take trillions of years to become an amoeba. That would be good enough. So it's not
That's
hell. It's not a
funny.
hell. And as you said, it's not like they're going to be aware of themselves. Oh shit, I came back on a rock for the next 20 years. Let's be a rock, and they'll have all this time in the world to evolve as a rock to an amoeba and to whatever else. But they're not hell. I say, the idea is that you don't make God a bigger dick than Hitler by having to torture him for all eternity. You know,
Yeah, I don't even think, I think Hitler was tortured while he was alive by his own mind. So,
yeah, I know. But I'm
you
saying
know,
when people put him in hell for all of eternity, no one deserves that, no matter what they do here. No one
yeah,
deserves to be on fire and consciously tortured for all eternity. That makes God to be the biggest fascist there is. He'd make Hitler look good. So better off just taking him out. So that's why I said to my daughters, let's get him out of there.
yeah,
What can we do? You don't want to have him come back the very next lifetime, but that doesn't do much for satisfying any urge to believe yourself of any kind of, at least it doesn't teach much to the kids. It's not a 10-year-old at least, They had to worry about it, so doesn't teach him much. So we had him come back as a rock. It was kind of funny.
that's pretty funny. That's
You know,
very cute.
you know.
Wow.
But I don't know if I was proud or not, boy. I saw Hitler and Stalin. Well, if anyone who belong in there, it's gonna be those two guys. And the funny thing is, I didn't know when I asked them, how did you guys know to put them there? And like, we heard you and mommy not talking about using like him too much. I'm like, oh.
Hmm. Okay,
It was funny. I guess I must have been talking about, you
you
mentioned Stalin.
spoiled them
Well,
there.
when you mentioned Stalin, what about it? Well, of them, who brings him Stalin and Hitler up and says, oh, it's nice things about him? So I'm sure if it came up at all with the news or something, I'm sure it wasn't speaking so well of him. I'm sure it said something like, I'm selling that bum.
Hmm.
I'm trying, and they must have overheard that.
That
That's,
is just crazy, but
that's,
but very astute. And who knows? They may have known from, we were talking in the last group about, previous life, people having
maybe,
experiences. You never know. So,
maybe.
but very interesting. So you want me to read on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we got almost to the bottom of this page. So he says, yes, this cell consciousness is common to every cell of every body, no matter what its kind, because it is an impersonal consciousness having no purpose other than doing the work allotted it. It lives only to work wherever needed. When through with building one form, it takes up the work of building another, under whatever consciousness I desire it to serve. It is likewise thus with you. Just made me think of something yesterday when I was washing the dishes, or yeah, I was washing something in the sink, and I had
Okay.
just washed the sink out. So what I was washing in the sink was the liner to the air fryer, which I don't know if you have an air fryer, but
I
if
don't think
you
so.
fry like greasy things or whatever, it gets crumbs and grease and whatever. So you have to wash it. So I had just washed out the kitchen sink. It was all nice and clean. Then I said, "Oh, I need to clean that air fryer." So I get out the air fryer thing and I put it and start running water. Of course, all this grease and crumbs starts coming up. And I'm like, I just cleaned this and now I'm making it dirty again. And then I realized, oh, it's the circle, it's the cycle here. Uh,
Oh, okay.
everything has to get clean, it's just like me. I have to, I just took a shower yesterday. Why do I have to take a shower again today?
This
I just,
once is permanent.
it's,
Wouldn't that be nice? Once is permanent. Wow, that's a hell of a
yeah,
shower, man. I'll tell you for sure. Stay one shower permanently.
wash your clothes once, and
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly,
So
exactly.
everything, well, there's some people that do that anyway,
Yeah,
but
I know. They're not exactly the type of talking about.
but but but,
Hey,
but
it's each their own, hell, I don't
exactly.
know.
But it's a cycle thing. And so, if you're if and again, if you're a body, you're living a life, you're going to eat things that have died. You're not eating living things, or even if you are
No.
living things, they don't live, through your intestine, they turn into something else, so then and what was it I said the other day? Everybody's somebody's food. Uh,
Yeah,
everybody's somebody's food. Um, you can choose who you eat, but not who eats you.
right. It's true. It's
I can
nice,
choose who
nice
you
thought, nice thought, but it's true.
you can choose who you eat, but not who eats you.
It's
And
true.
and that's it. I mean, it's a cycle, cycle, cycle. And it's a cycle of, basically life and death, the circle of life, like the uh,
Yeah, that's funny.
like the Disney movie. But then
And, but that's not a very Disney thing. And not on Disney. You
yeah.
choose who you with me. How do we eat you on Disney next?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have a meme that I post that I made up of a robin eating a worm, and it's like what's breakfast to the robin is torture to the worm.
Right, it's true. Yep. Yep. That's
You
true.
you are whatever.
You're
So
OG.
yeah, I always like to make up those morbid things
Yeah.
because it's true.
Yeah.
That's what.
I see the one with the bird is eating, the big bird's eating the little bird that's just never, and the little bird's choking the big bird's neck. And
Yes.
it says never give up.
Never give up. Yep.
That's funny, I like that one.
That's pretty funny.
But,
Or those I think I've mentioned this before, in churches and whatever, Sunday school or whatever, they always have a picture of Jesus holding a lamb, a baby lamb.
yeah.
And I made a meme. It's lamb chops for dinner.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Our
Because
shepherd, the
people
shepherd.
the good shepherd, yeah, well, what is the shepherd raising the sheep for?
Oh,
You know,
food.
They're gonna, shear your wool or use your wool and eat your body and make boots out of your skin. And, you know, that's just how it goes.
That's
And
funny.
so anyway, I like to make jokes like that.
Yeah, I
So
think you should. I think you should.
yeah, it's like, this is what's really going on here, kids. So let's see. So I'll continue reading.
Okay.
So you, as one of the cells of my body, have a consciousness that is my consciousness, an intelligence that is my intelligence, even a will that is my will. You have none of these for yourself or of yourself. They are all mine and for my use only. Well, that's
Yeah, well, it's cool. As I said last week or the week before, I was like, we're dependent entities. We're dependent upon God completely. It's like we don't exist by ourselves. We don't have any real existence because we're like the flying ball. You know what I mean? We're not really doing anything on our own. We're doing something that's dependent upon God. God is the only independent existence there is, or the infinite one, or our true selves, the Christ within us. That's the only independent existence. Our bodies, or the ego ourselves, is just totally dependent upon God. Because the truth is not even here. So what it's saying there is that, we are our uh, intelligence is my intelligence, even as the will is my will, and you have none of these for yourself or of yourself. We don't have anything for ourselves. All we have is we are totally dependent upon God, or on our high power within, totally dependent. So if you think of it that way, then we are really just being pushed by the energy of God. We are being moved around by the energy of God. We are acting from the energy of God. And then everything we say, our life is God. And our intelligence is God's. So what we have to do is just open up a mouth and let our spirit come out, let God come out. And that's it. And see
yeah,
and look around us and see where we are. As we said before the show goes on, when you're on the stage today, remember your lines, don't bump into the furniture.
yeah, there you go.
That's it. So sitting with here, just don't bump into know where you are, and then just start talking. See what happens.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
This is say your lines, don't bump into the furniture.
Don't
That's all
bump
you
into
can.
the furniture.
Yeah.
Oh,
For me, sometimes it's pretty hard sometimes. My balance is not always on, so it's a pretty
oh, well, probably me too, because I
yeah.
have I have a vestibular problem, so I
Yeah,
don't have my
exactly.
balance.
Exactly. So
So
you never know.
you
But,
never know.
all right. So how much we have like 5 minutes left. Have we
We
got
got
time
about
to
5 minutes left. Do you have a song or something?
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Do we finish the page or no?
Yeah, we finished the page. We're just
Oh
at the
good.
top of the next page.
Oh good.
So
Okay.
I'll
All
read it.
right.
We're
I
on page 8.
play a quick one.
Okay. I'm going to
And
stop this share so you can do that.
all right. I
And
have
this is so much fun. I
it
so
is. I
enjoy
like
talking
it.
with you
Yeah,
about
me
this.
too. I really enjoy it. I learn a lot each time, not just from the book, but from you. I learn a lot from you as well, so I'm really enjoying it.
Me, you too.
Yeah. What do I want to do here? It's this is a funny song, if anything. It's a Monty Python song.
Oh, good.
It's a song. It's one of these. It's just a happy song. It's not exactly, I don't agree with everything it says in it, but one of these songs where it's just basically, well, the title says it all. It's always look on the bright side of life. Oh, you
I
know what?
love this song.
I have to redo my sharing
Redo your share, yeah.
because hold on a sec. Yeah, because if you hit that, but the FLA, you can't hear anything. Okay. Okay. All right. This is Taylor, The Bright Side of Life. It's Python, and it's a fun song. So here you go.
Thank you, Wayne.
Some things in life are bad, they can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. And And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life. Come on. Always look on the bright side of life. When you're in the World Cup and all your hopes are up and everybody wants your team to win, and they go and let you down and come slinking back to town, it's time for this daft song to begin. So always look on the bright side of life. Cheer up. Next time, always look on the bright side of life. For life is quite absurd, and death's the final word. You must always face the curtain with a bow. Forget about your sin, give the audience a grin. Enjoy it, it's your last chance anyhow. So always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. Life's a laugh and death's a joke, it's true. You'll see it's all a show, keep them laughing as you go. Just remember that the last laugh is on you. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. Come on, cheer up. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright.
Whistling along. Thank you so much, Rev Wayne Stills. I love you, brother.
You too. God bless everyone. Love you too, Lynn and Audrey. Good to see you. And Sharon and Gloria. Bye bye. And I'll see you
Thank
guys.
you.